Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Simon with AvaTrade. Welcome to our weekly webinar, Trading Prospects, Mapping Out Your Week Ahead. And just a few words, especially for new people, I welcome you in a very special way. Welcome, of course, to our webinar. And just a few words about the title so you won't get or you won't feel lost. What we're trying to do here is actually create the structure and the plan for the upcoming week. And as traders like to say, you plan your trade and then you trade your plan. And this way you can avoid unnecessary chaos in your trading. Of course, there's no guarantee in succeeding all the time, but definitely it improves your results and your feeling about your trading. A few things about myself. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. I started as a prop trader in June of 2000, so it's more than 24 years that I'm involved in trading. After 11 years of prop trading, I moved on into a different way, less stressful, as I like to say, and also started to mentor and educate other traders. And I'm very happy of this great opportunity to be assisting our customers at AvaTrade. The agenda of the webinar, as usual, we speak about indices, stocks, commodities, Forex. We try to highlight important things that did happen and also important things, of course, that will be happening this upcoming week, which is very, very important. A risk warning, you can find a full statement at avatrade.com. And of course, everything we do here, it's purely educational. We do not suggest any trades. Social media channels, please feel free to follow us and to subscribe at Telegram, the X, which used to be Twitter, and as I always say, my favorite YouTube channel. You have a lot of information there. Subscribe, click on the bell, be notified. Also, you can find a lot of tutorials and educational materials there. Webinars, if you missed a webinar, or if you just want to browse through the past webinars, it's all available. You can just go to our channel on YouTube and have a full access to it. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, please feel free and feel encouraged to click the likes if you like it. Feel free to share it with people you care about, and also write your comments, your feedback. It's very, very important. So a few words about the past week. We had the NFP numbers, which I don't remember such a low number for a very long time, and some analysts attributed to the hurricane in Caribbean that affected Florida, also a strike of Boeing that affects 33,000 workers and so on. Nevertheless, the numbers were low. The market reacted in a certain way. We'll take a look when we get to the charts. Dollar initially sold, then it moved higher. Gold did the opposite. It moved briefly higher than it's sold, and the markets also reacted in a very funny way. First was an uptick, and then we kind of sold. So we'll take a look what happened there. We still have earnings season. This past week, we had unhappy results from Apple, Meta, and Microsoft. All three major companies are down. On the positive side, Amazon had good earnings. The stock was up about 6%, maybe 7%. And also interesting news, NVIDIA will be replacing Intel in the Dow Jones Index, which is very, very interesting. And of course, so that's the old news. I mean, a few days old, right? Now, the upcoming week, of course, we have a busy week. We have important announcements. Of course, the elections on the 5th in the US, market is really anticipating and trying to figure it out which way we go, which president or potential president, what kind of agenda they're pushing, and so on. So that's on the 5th. On the 7th, of course, the Feds are reporting, making the decision in interest rate. Before that, we have actually Bank of England, and they have the same projections we have on both Bank of England and the Feds from the US. They're planning or expected to cut by 1/4 percentage. So here it's an article. As you know, I like to bring a few articles here for you to look into. And I read an article here, and it says that it looks like the Feds are really calm and they are ready for that cut, but they're also divided within them. There's a group of Feds that are worried about the inflation is not giving up, and the other group is worried about the economic and the employment numbers. So both kind of pointing into different directions, right? One is pro cut, the other one is not. So I guess we'll find out. As of now, it's about 98%. Let's take a look. I think I got it right here. Yeah, this is the latest 98.9% probability, according to CME tools, that we are going to see the 0.25% cut. Okay, as I said, NVIDIA, right here, an article, NVIDIA to replace Intel in the Dow, underscoring downfall of an industry titan. Okay, simple thing. Definitely, it will be affecting the index. Definitely will be affecting the stock. Making all-time highs. Sold a little bit. We'll take a look when we get to the charts. Now, Apple. Here we go. Let's read it together. Apple financial guidance issued on Thursday left Wall Street wondering when or if large numbers of iPhone users might upgrade a device to take advantage of the company's artificial intelligence software. Now, I'm going to stop here, just give you a little bit clarification. As we all know, and I think I shared with you one of the webinars. Also, I was in New York. I was hesitating to buy or not to buy the new phone, the 16. I didn't buy it. So I guess I'm not the only one hesitating. So Apple is really concerned about it. So I'll continue reading here. Apple stock has the worst, was the worst performer in the Dow Jones Industrial Average on Friday after the tech company provided disappointing December quarter guidance after the stock marked closed on Thursday. Chief Financial Officer Luca Maestri said Apple expects revenue to rise at the percentage in the low to mid single digits relative to the same quarter last year. Shares of Apple were off 1.5% on Friday to 222.46. All right, we're going to follow it. Now, another thing on Apple, which is very, very important, as we know, when Berkshire's leader sells something, it is affecting us. We know Warren Buffett considered to be a guru in trading, right? So every move, remember when he was selling Bank of America, one of these big holdings, it affected the stock as well. So they're selling a quarter of its holding in Apple, and I think Apple was the happiest stock for them ever. They made a lot of money. And here we go. Berkshire has seen a large gain in an Apple stake, having paid an average price of about $35 a share. The purchase was made largely between 2016 and 2018. Talking about smart investing, right? So they're very happy. Nevertheless, they're selling 25% of their holdings in Apple. So here, the 25 reduction in stake follows a nearly 50% cut in the second quarter. Berkshire overall Apple stake is now down by about 2/3 from 905 million shares since the start of the year. Okay, definitely we might see the continuation to the downside in Apple. So this was already the Fed's CME tool. And let's take a quick look at economic calendar. Now, a few things important to mention, especially to new people. This is public information, not familiar with it. You can just Google economic calendar. You can find it on our web trader or the app. Like I said, it's public info. You can know about these things ahead of time and prepare yourself. What I do here, I take out only high impact events. There's so much more, so you can browse through it, you can filter through and choose what events and announcements are relative to your trading. So these things are happening in the upcoming week, a lot of things. Presidential elections, Tuesday, November 5th, right? We all know that. PMI from China, interest rate decision, another one from Australia. Expectation is about staying the same. Statement, press conference, the same scenario. President Lagarde from ECB speaking on Tuesday as well. We have employment data from New Zealand and PMI from the US. ECB President Lagarde's speech, another one on Wednesday. And here comes Thursday, major day, of course. We have trade balances, Australia, retail sales from European Union, and here we go. Starting or kicking off with Bank of England interest rate. As you could see, similar numbers. Current rate is 5, expectation 4.75, the same thing US. So we have minutes, decision report, and the speech after 30 minutes after the announcement. And then we have a small break, quite a break actually, from 12:30. Now, by the way, I choose GMT numbers, so kind of universal GMT time, universal time, so you can figure it out what time is it by you, and you can adjust it. Here we go. 7 p.m. GMT, decision from the Fed's statement, and as usual, 30 minutes is the press conference where the markets start jumping, of course, and questions, answers with Mr. or Chair Powell. Friday, employment data from Canada. Usually they report the same day with the NFPs from the States. This time is a week break. Michigan consumer sentiment from the US. CPI numbers from China. China is on the radar, of course, and another speech by Lagarde on Saturday. So these are the things. Prepare yourself. Choose whatever is relevant for you. Again, what you do with these numbers totally individual. Some people like to trade into the announcements. Some people prefer to stay away. It's totally up to you. Your level of confidence, your style of trading, and so on. Okay. And here we go, 10-year yields, also very important to mention since last cut, we had the move, significant move to the upside. You remember 4 was a key level, we just broke through it, and we continued, we just broke the high of 4.3, closing on Friday on 10-year yields at 4.378. That, of course, added strength to a dollar, pushed gold lower, and it's also not very good for the equity markets. So just keep an eye on 10-year yields as an indication. And as I started a few weeks back, the biggest gainers and the losers for the week. This time, not many significant gainers in the commodity world, only cocoa, but as we know, 1 week it's up a lot, 1 week is down a lot. This past week, cocoa was up 7.75%. As far as losers, natural gas gave away 14%, palladium gave away 8%, silver 3.5%, and crude oil 3.4% down for the week. We'll take a look at these instruments when we get there. Okay, so let's bring the trading terminal and we'll start looking at things. So as a tradition, we'll start with China. Here we go. As we mentioned, China, after making a huge move up with the stimulus program, we sold in 2 days pretty much, and then we're sitting right here in between 50 and 60% retracement by Fibonacci. So with that, as you know, I usually bring copper. Copper is sitting real steady, trying to find out which way to go. And as you know, I mentioned it a lot, the longer we stay in the narrow range, the stronger could be the move. It's like a spring ready to shut or to shoot. So we're gonna see what's in store for copper. So that's copper. Another one to take a look at, it's oil. Oil is very tricky here, as we mentioned last week. Situation in the Middle East is very shaky. One day Iran said they're not going to retaliate. Now they're threatening to hit Israel even before the elections, U.S. elections. There's a buildup of power. U.S. is moving more forces into the Middle East region. There's some bombers, a lot of troops, and other things in the region. Things are building up, getting hot. Nevertheless, oil is not really moving higher. So I guess maybe with some tailwind of this news, we might see some pop in oil. But so far, with all this situation, oil's been sitting around between 66 and 71, as you could see here. So that's as far as crude oil. And of course, normally we would be seeing or watching Australian and New Zealand dollar. They've been super weak. I think most or the strongest reason, the main reason, is the strength of a US dollar. Both New Zealand and Australian dollar are sitting here at these levels of support. Okay, so that's China. Again, we have some numbers coming up. Now, indices. Funny enough, we did have a sell-off. The earnings, as I mentioned to you last week, the earnings are mostly positive, but this past week we had some negative earnings and negative moves, especially from Apple, Meta, and Microsoft. So as you could see here, the S&P 500 sold on the second half of the week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we tried to move higher, but we still closed below the 50-day moving average. Nasdaq, similar story, was sitting right on the 50-day moving average. Dow Jones, we've been selling here. If you remember, we mentioned last week with McDonald's issue and other stocks selling. Now let's see how Dow Jones will play from now on. When I think on the 8th, next week on the 8th of November, Intel is being replaced by NVIDIA in the index. So let's see how that affects the index. Germany, same thing. We just sold from this level of 19,700. We hit 550 moving average and bounced from it. So we're holding these levels on German index. As you know, as we mentioned, President of ECB will be speaking 3 times next week, so maybe we'll see some either positive or negative statements for the German index, which is the main index of Europe. UK, FTSE, as you could see, we broke this channel that we mentioned for a very long time. On Thursday, we broke it. We hit 200 moving average here. We came right back into the channel. So it looks like they are really holding this. And again, a tight channel has been going on for a very long time, somewhere from May up till today. A lot of accumulation in this tight channel there. So we'll continue watching. Now, let's move to individual stocks. As we said, some of them didn't really, or were not really happy campers this past week. As we said, Apple, we did sell on Apple. A little bit of recovery on Friday here. Amazon, positive. You could see here Friday, the earnings pushed the stock higher here. Microsoft and Meta, not so happy. Let's take a quick look at it. Meta opened with a gap and stayed low as well. Microsoft, same story. We came to the previous support and we're holding around 409. So these are the things that did happen. Now, I prepared a list for the stocks. Not all of them are tradable with us, so I just took these major stocks that are reporting. As you could see here, we have another 100 stocks from S&P 500 reporting this week. BioNTech, Marriott, Wind Resorts reporting on Monday. DuPont, Ferrari, Marathon Petroleum, Super Microcomputer. Okay, this stock, I'm not sure we offer it, but this you can see it's a very interesting story about them. They've been selling lately a lot. So let's see what earnings are doing. Wednesday, Albert, I can't even pronounce it. Albemarle, ARM Holdings, CVS Health, Novo Nordisk, very interesting pharmaceutical company, a little controversial lately. Qualcomm, major company. Toyota Motors reporting on Wednesday. Thursday, Airbnb, Moderna, Monster Energy, Warner Brothers Discovery. Energy, and Paramount Global on Friday. So these are the stocks reporting. Of course, there's going to be 100, around 100 companies reporting this week. So busy week. Again, just to really remind us, a busy week. The earnings are continuing. We have interest rate decision. Few of them, of course, the most important, the Fed and the elections. So this is as far as the equity markets. Let's move to commodities, and we'll take a look at those winners and losers, as we mentioned. We mentioned cocoa. Let's see. Here we go. This is the weekly move of cocoa. After we thought that cocoa is ready to fall, it came right back above 7,000, closing at 73.15. So this is a daily chart. It looks like we're hitting the 50-day moving average, trying to test it. So that's on cocoa. Natural gas doesn't look so good after the new contract. Something I think I mentioned to you. Sometimes after the contract changes, rollover of the contract, the new contract is trying to match the old contract's price, closing the gap. So that's exactly what's been happening here. So we might come to this around 257 level or not. Maybe we'll turn around and go higher here. But nevertheless, natural gas was down a lot last week, as you could see here. Losing about 14%. Palladium, a nice correction after a strong move to the upside. As you could see here on the weekly chart, we give away roughly maybe 70% of the previous week's gain. So palladium down 8%. On the daily chart, it looks like we just went through easily on this level here. That was a resistance, and we are above all three moving averages here. So let's see what's next for palladium this upcoming week. The last 3 weeks, the last 3 days, there was a strong sell-off starting with a big move on Wednesday. So that's palladium. Silver had a nice run until it decided to turn around. Also 3 consecutive days to the downside. And take a look. If we go left, it's like crossing the street. If you look at the left here, May 20th, that was the resistance that we tested recently a few times, broke through it and came and we closed right below. So we might see some fight for this level here around the current level around 32.49. Let's see how it plays out here. So that's on silver. Also, as we mentioned, crude oil sold on Friday for the week is down 341. And let's see how it does this upcoming week, especially as I said, the things after kind of US and everybody was screaming that Iran is okay with the last hit of Israel and they're not going to retaliate because they said nothing major happened. All right, let's have peace and love. I'm just exaggerating a little bit. But as new details came in, and so it looks like the anger grew there, and then they're really threatening, especially now over the weekend, that they're planning to attack, and the attack will be very strong and unexpected, and it will happen before the US elections. So we'll see how things are developing and how oil is reacting to it. Gold, as we said, with the 10-year yields moving higher significantly, sharply higher, we had a sell-off in the last 2 days. Thursday was a big move to the downside, erasing the previous 3 days of advance. And Friday we continued, but we didn't break the Thursday's low. So Thursday's low is 2731.49. Let's see if that will be challenged at the beginning of the week. And the high, or the all-time high, as you can see 2 days in a row. Let's see, this is Wednesday. The high 2789.92. 2790.02. So 2790 all-time high on gold. So that's our the top of this candle, and the bottom is the test if we hold it. If not, we might see actually continuation of that correction. So that's as far as commodities, right? We had some losers. We had cocoa as a gainer. Let's move to Forex. And as we mentioned, dollar gained some strength on Friday with the yields going higher. And this is the, let's just take a look what happened. With the announcement. As you could see, initial move was down on the NFPs, and then we strongly stepped up, breaking the resistance of August 2nd, and we closed right around that level. So we definitely should be watching this week with the interest rates, of course, decision and the elections and everything else. As you know, that's normal. We have the upside down or mirror image here on euro dollar. We had the move down on Friday. We still have the support 107.77. That's from this initiation of this move at the beginning of August. We tested a few times, we didn't break. So should we move lower here, we're probably going to retest that level. We are below all three moving averages. We just broke below 200 again on Friday with this strong move. Pound, it's holding this current level here, as you could see. We have interest rate decision from Bank of England as well. So definitely on both decisions, both sides of GBP USD, it's going to be interesting to watch the move, and both are set or expected to lower by 0.25% to the same level of interest rate. Yen, very, very important. We had interest rate decision this past week. The interest rate stayed the same, 0.25%. We are sitting right on a 200 moving average here. As you could see here, we tried to break through 153 here, few tails up. Thursday was a move down, holding the 200 moving average. With the strength of a dollar increased on Friday, we had the move up, recovering three quarters of that move. So let's see how it works. And it's worth taking a look at all the pairs with the Japanese yen, as you could see here. Swiss franc sold from this resistance level, something we mentioned, I think, last week. Australian dollar sold as well. Canadian sold as well. Euro is also weak here, and pound as well. So it looks like yen is holding its strength, and the only currency it's showing significant weakness against is the dollar. But even here, we didn't break through the resistance here. So definitely we'll continue watching Japanese yen as it has, just to show you potential. Let's take a quick look at dollar yen. It's a major one. If you look at the monthly chart, we did have a huge move that started at 2020. We had a few corrections until we hit the high in the beginning of July, 161.94, almost 162. Then 3 months down, October, nice month to the upside. We recover half of that loss, and now we're holding here around 152.88. So, you know what we can do? We can try to draw some trend lines just for visuals and see what happens next. Of course, it will be depending on what's happening with the US dollar. As you could see here, if you draw a channel connecting the lows and the highs, we're right in the middle of the channel here. So we could go either way. So definitely we'll continue watching Japanese yen. Very, very, very important. Now, if you remember, we mentioned three pairs that we said it's worth watching. I mentioned to you the USD ZAR. With all the strength of the dollar, again, it's continuing doing the same thing. It's sitting pretty much at the same level. There was one move here the previous week, but then we really don't have the strength. Even though with all the strength of a dollar, it's not really moving higher against ZAR. It's very, very important to notice that. So if we might see, if we will see the weakness of the dollar, we might see actually diving below, but maybe not. Maybe just again, just my speculation. Maybe they're just not sure what to do, but for some reason, there's something happening here, and the strength of the ZAR really is holding there. So another one we spoke about is USD Hungarian forint. It held nicely. We did break through the previous resistance here on mid-June, and we start building price action above this level, 373.44, and it looks like is trying to run here. As you could see here on the weekly chart, there were a few attempts to break this level, and we finally closed above. So that's a strong indication of possible continuation to the downside. Of course, the opposite could happen. We can come and retest this level again and might even dive lower, but we'll continue watching that. Now, Norwegian krona, it's a similar story. As you could see here, we broke to this 1090 level, and we're building a lot of strength here above. Very strong close on Friday. As I mentioned to you, Norwegian krona is very sensitive to the oil prices. So we might see if the oil continues weakness and the dollar remains strong, we might see continuation to the upside and maybe even try to test the previous highs here. Or the opposite, we can come and retest this level here again at 1090, and it might even dive. So those are the currencies. Again, we have interest rate decisions, the major ones from the US and the UK, and we'll continue watching the markets and a lot of events this week. And for dessert, as usual, Bitcoin. Here we go. Had a nice move to the upside. If you remember, I mentioned to you the golden cross. I think we spoke about it last week when the 50-day moving average crosses above 200. For some analysts and traders, it triggers a buying program. And we did have a nice move, nice reaction to that. And take a look. This trend line, I set it up a while ago by connecting the two bottoms here after the big move, as you could see here. And guess what? Sometimes history repeats itself, or sometimes trend lines really work for some technicians. But nevertheless, it could be coincident. But we did hit exactly that trend line before reversing. So we're still in a very strong uptrend. Let's see what this correction does. How long will it come? How soon it might reverse and continue to the upside. Again, it reacted negatively to the strength of the dollar and the weakness to the markets. And let's see what this upcoming week will bring to us. And something that I didn't show, so let's just take a look at it really quick. NVIDIA, as was said, as replacing Intel after hitting the highs here on the 22nd of October. It looks like it, right? Yeah, we've been sliding lower slowly. Thursday was a sell-off. Friday, a little bit almost a flat day. So NVIDIA, again, very important. It's entering Dow Jones Index. And let's see, is it benefit to both of them or it's not? Definitely we'll be watching both the index reacting to it and the shares, the price of the shares of NVIDIA as well. Okay, so again, don't forget the social media, Telegram, X, YouTube, subscribe, click the bell, share, put the likes, write your comments, very, very important. And in a few words, just put it all together. We have a very, very powerful week in front of us. First of all, it's inflation, okay? Did I say inflation? Elections. I'm already confused with all these fancy words. US elections on the 5th. A lot of stress, a lot of pressure from both parties, from the markets, expectations, disappointments, a lot of issues. So a lot of things to be excited about. So definitely that's happening on the 5th. Then we have Fed's decision. And prior to that, it's going to be the Bank of England. We have 100 companies from the S&P 500 still reporting. We have A lot of things to follow. We have a lot of things to be excited about. And I hope that you enjoy your weekend and get some energy and prepare yourself for the eventful and busy week. And of course, I want to wish everyone a successful week. Uh, Make sure you prepare yourself, you have your plan, you control your risks, have fun, be productive. All the best. Take care.